Hey everybody, welcome back to Bandit's Rules of the Road. I'm Bandit. Today's show, we're going to talk about merging and emergencies. And the reason that I want to talk about them today is I had probably 3 four-wheelers today that had their heads up their asses and tried to merge, and I was coming down the interstate and did not have anywhere to go. I had somebody in the left lane next to me, and these people were all coming out ahead of me on the ramp, but they weren't moving fast enough. They weren't moving 65 is what I'm set at, and they weren't even going 65. So I'm gonna say this and repeat it a lot on my show. Driving is not rocket science, people. It is not. It is simple, repetitive tasks and a little common sense. And the longer you do it, the better you should get at it. But anyway, there's still people out there that do not know how to do it. And so today I'm going to talk a little bit about that. When you are merging, when you're coming down your ramp, you can look out your left window and see if anybody's right next to you coming up the highway. And you can look in your left mirror and see if somebody is coming up the highway in the left lane, or it'd be the right lane, but you can see if anybody's coming up on your left side. And if he's next to you, when you look out your left window, tap on your brake a little bit, slow down a little bit, and get in behind him. If he is in the mirror behind you a little bit on the left, then gas on it and get up to speed. Most ramps, not all, but most ramps have enough area for you to get up to interstate speeds, 65, 70, 75 miles an hour, before you even enter the interstate. Do it! For Christ's sakes, do it! It's not rocket science. You're screwing people up when you pop out and you're going 55 miles an hour or less. You screw people up. You screw up the whole flow of the system. And that is what merging lanes and ramps are supposed to do, is prevent slowdown or the main traffic. So do it. It's that simple. Good Lord. Now, emergencies. And what I'm talking about with emergencies, 2 things. First, if it happens to you, if you have a blowout, if you have just engine problems, or the child you're driving with decides he needs to puke in your back seat, and you need to hit the shoulder on the interstate, put on your hazards, slow down, get on the shoulder, and go a little further. Go as far off of the driving lanes as you could possibly get without getting into trouble, without hitting something, without getting into a snowbank, without getting into mud. But get off of the white line and get off of the interstate for your own safety. On a daily basis out here, I see people with their heads up their butts, swerving, talking on the phone, setting up their tablet to take video. No, I was kidding. I usually do that when I'm stopped or I'm taking off. But anyway, there's nothing that says you are going to be safe because you're on the shoulder of the road. And I'll get to more of that in just a minute. But here's the thing. The further away from the main traffic that you are, the better off you are. Now, not only does it prevent you and your family, or I won't say prevent, help you and your family to stay safe, but the people on the interstate, me and my big truck, and I'm coming down the interstate and you're on the white line, I can't, with a clear conscience, go by you in the right lane. I have to get over that left lane. Most states nowadays are making that illegal. It's a law. I mean, you have to get over for stop traffic. Some states it's just emergency vehicles or state vehicles, but most states are going for any stop traffic on the shoulder of the road. You have to get over to the left lane to go around them, or at least slow down. So, and I'll get to more of that in just a moment. But anyway, if you park on the white line and don't get off the shoulder very far, and I'm coming up the road, the interstate, in my right lane, and I've got a line of traffic in the left lane coming up on me, I cannot possibly safely get over in the left lane. I slow down. I'm definitely watching your vehicle to make sure you're not about to pop open the driver's door in front of me and step out. But it messes everybody up. So please get off the road as far as you can. Now, on the flip side of that, for those of you assholes who have never been broke down on the side of an interstate, you don't know what it's like to have big trucks going by you at 65, 75, 85 miles an hour. They push a lot of wind, rocks the vehicle, scares the living crap out of you. And I'm a big truck driver. And even when I'm in my big truck on the side of the road, it rocks my vehicle. It scares the crap out of me. Here's the thing. You know, on a daily basis, you trip over things in your house, you know, out in your sidewalk, in your yard, whatever. Maybe not on a daily basis, but you get my point. Quite often, you trip over things. So you're on the side of the road, you're nervous, you're trying to change a tire, you're trying to hurry up, you're trying to check under your hood, whatever the case may be. Very easily could you trip just on the transition from the road to the shoulder. There's usually a gap, there's usually a difference in height. So as you're going around the front of your car and you're going to go back to try and start the car again or whatever, you trip, you catch the edge of the road and you trip and you're laying out in the road. And I'm coming along, splat. You're dead. You're dead, and there's not a thing we can do about it. Your fault for parking that close to the road. My fault for not getting over the left lane. But here's the thing. If I can't get over in the left lane, and sometimes I try. Truckers out of everybody, even before they made these laws, truckers try to get over in the left lane for anything that's on the shoulder, because we've been there. Most of us have been there. We know how scary it is, and we know how much wind we push. And you know what? A simple thing like a rock coming up out of the tires and hits you in the head. You're on the side of the road changing a tire, and a rock flies out of my tire. It hits you in the head. Right place, you could be dead. That simple, that quick. How about if I blow a tire? We'll get into that later as far as why you should never pass a big truck slowly. If I blow a tire, you're dead. There's all kinds of things that can happen. So get off the road. And those of you going down the road, get over in the left lane. Good Lord. Again, you cars, tap on the brake or gas on a little bit, get in front of somebody or get behind somebody and get over in the left lane and give those people room. Now, In Illinois recently, Downers Grove, an Illinois state trooper was at the scene of an accident already when somebody had their head up their ass. I'm not sure, I haven't heard the whole story yet, but somebody hit the state trooper and killed him. I know Chicago's its own little world for the most part, but it's a good example of why, when there's somebody on the road, common courtesy, that's another theme I always talk about in these shows. Common courtesy, get over in the left lane, get away from them. And if you have to park on the shoulder, get away from the road. Get off on the shoulder as far as you can. If it's nice out and it's not muddy, it's not snowy, get over in the grass. Nobody cares. The cops aren't going to give you a ticket for being in the grass. The state workers that mow the grass, they're not going to care if you're over in the grass. Get over in the grass. Get as far away from the interstate as possible, so a rock doesn't come off and hit somebody in your family, so I don't blow a tire and take you out on the way by, so somebody who's talking on their cell phone or reaching down for the cigarette they just dropped, and they swerve, you know, it'd take a lot. There's a good example. That car right there, that's beautiful. That car's way over on the grass. Absolutely great timing as I'm talking about this. Not only that, but he waited for a ramp, so he's even extra far off. Oh, that was beautiful. So, okay, there you go. Now, going back to blowing a tire, my big truck blowing a tire. So these tires weigh approximately 150 pounds. And they've got 120 pound of air pressure in them. And when it gets rolling down the road with all this weight on it, there's a lot of heat, a lot of pressure. When they blow, they bend steel. Flatbed trailers, which I used to own a flatbed, have small I-beams all down the length of the trailer. They go from side to side. They're small I-beams. They're strong, they're steel, and they're big enough to where they hold loads up on the deck. You're not about to bend one with a, I don't care, you could put a pipe wrench or a adjustable wrench on it and a cheater bar, and you're not going to bend that. So that's how strong they are. But when a tire blows, it'll bend 2 or 3 of those I-beams. When a tire blows on a big truck, it'll rip the mud flap hanger right off. When a tire blows on a big truck, it'll rip the fender right off. So when you're going down the interstate, and I know you've got your cruise set. I mean, most intelligent people have their cruise set. That's a whole nother story for a whole nother time. The people that don't have their cruise sets, and you end up passing them 5 times in 100 miles. But anyway, most intelligent people have their cruise set, and you're coming up on a big truck and you've got it set, you know, just a little bit faster than a big truck. You know, that whole 65.1, 65.2. Well, if the speed limit's out here is 70 and you got your cruise set at 73, and you're coming up on a big truck, it's got his set at 72.5. Get around them. When you're passing them, you get out in the left lane, you start easing up on his trailer tires, gas on it. Put the pedal to the floor, get around him. Then when you get around him, let off on it again. Your cruise will kick back in, and you can get over and get back to doing the speed you were doing. But if you try to ease around that guy and he blows a tire, look out. It's hard to say. If you have a passenger, it could possibly kill the passenger. If thing goes really astray, it could probably, you know, possibly cause you to wreck and kill everybody in the car and screw up the big truck, and there's no need for it. Everybody needs to be aware of their surroundings out here. And again, this is one of those things that I don't think they'll teach you in driver's ed, but I'll teach you. I'll talk to you about it. I'll let you know. I've seen blown tires cause a lot of damage. You don't want to be around one. And here's the thing, you never know when it's going to happen. There is no warning. Sometimes you can tell, sometimes you can hear them, sometimes you can see one. It's got a nice slice in it, whatever. But you know, when it's 95 degrees out and you've been driving for 8 hours and the temperature of the tires is unbelievable, it blows. It's gonna, it'll knock a guy off a motorcycle in a heartbeat. So definitely, if you're on a motorcycle, get the heck around the big truck. Don't hang out back there. You're not doing anybody any favors, especially yourself. So anyway, kind of a short one today. Again, I still don't have, I'm supposed to be getting my bracket tonight. I hope I am. My brother, we're eating pizza at my stepdad's. My mom was alive. There's 4 of us brothers, and when my mom was alive, we lost her 10 years ago to ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease. Love you, Mom. Miss you dearly. She had Wednesday nights were taco nights, and we brought all our families out and we ate tacos at Mom's and my stepdad's. And once she passed, I was still going over the road in my flatbed. Wasn't home during the week. My brother and his son, my nephew, would go and bring pizza out to my stepdad Jerry's, and they would TiVo certain shows on HBO or something during the week, and then they'd eat pizza and they'd watch these shows on Wednesday nights. Well, one of the coolest things is when I sold my truck and got this gig, being home every day, I was able to finally start making Wednesday nights. So, and my other 2 brothers, his sons, they work for the railroad. So we've got 2 truck drivers on my side, my brother and I, and then my 2 stepbrothers both work for the railroad. So it makes for interesting dinner conversations. I'll get into trains one of these days too, and share some of the videos I've made at train tracks. But anyway, my brother Matt, stepbrother Matt, is the one that got me the bracket for my tablet. And he is supposed to be eating pizza at his dad's tonight. So hopefully we'll get that, and I'll get that installed. And we're supposed to be getting some snow again tonight. You know, hopefully I'll get the bracket up. I'll get everything set up to where you guys can see some pretty snow and some driving in the snow, and well, hopefully it won't get stupid. Friday night's supposed to get stupid. Last I've heard is 12 to 18 inches. I won't be on the road, thank God, but it'll be interesting to see what comes out of that. And then we're supposed to get a cold snap Sunday, so it could be definitely an interesting weekend. But anyway, again, thank you all. Hope you enjoyed the show. Please subscribe. I love you all. God bless, and have a great day.